what it is. Okay, so yeah, friggin'. Just give me 1 second. I gotta get my. I'm terribly unprepared. We had some problems with my internet going on. So like, I'm gonna take a quick second here, just to get acclimatized, and yeah, just gonna get my questions here in order.
Wait, how did we agree to this?
I know, right? I'm so unprepared. I'm terrible. I'm terrible. Okay. One last thing, just to see. So how you guys doing? You feeling good?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Friday night. Come on, let's go. Friday.
Here, can you see us all right?
One of us could sit.
We stand back.
Yeah, I can see you. All right, we're good. We're gravy train, baby.
Over there now.
All right, yeah, sorry, just some technical stuff going on here, but we're going. 20 Scene, just for anybody who's tuning in right now who doesn't know what 20scene.com is, 20 Scene Tube, any of this stuff, we're a culture media website that does, like, focuses on music, started out doing print media, like miniature magazines, zines, cartoons, stuff like that, and we branched out and started doing videos and, like, you know, YouTube channel, a web series, which excerpts from this interview are going to be part of that web series. The web series is called 20 Scene Tube. You can check it out. We're on episode 9, I think, right now. It's going good, but yeah, essentially we talk about shows there, and I got a chance to see the Speed Humps, my wonderful fucking guests. Round of applause for them. They're a fucking awesome band. Yes. Kick-ass fucking band, you know what I'm saying? And, like, you know, it's so stoked to have them here, and I'm gonna ask them about that show, but yeah, like, just to get started here, yeah, that's the gist. That's what QKP is, Quaker Kid Productions. That's what 20 Scene Tube is, 20 Scene, the zines, you know what I'm saying? And like, but we're all about the music, and we fucking love punk rock. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is I'm so stoked on this right now, because like this is one of the, it's like a foundational thing for us at 20scene.com, where, like, you know, it even says on the zine 20 Scene metal, punk rock, and more. So, like, you know what I'm saying? This is true to form. So I'm going to start with my first question here, okay? Now, where does the band name come from? The Speed Humps? Okay, I asked this wondering if Barrie people are terrible at driving, so terrible that they literally buried the city in speed bumps and then named a band after it. Like, is that actually what happened here? Go ahead.
The drivers are pretty bad here.
We do have a lot of speed humps around town, but it's a name that wasn't taken.
We set the bar low.
It's more really just juvenile humor. You know.
Although we've upgraded the logo to have, you know, a bit of an aged cut, like the aged body.
Yeah. Like, so I guess it's just a casual sort of thing. Like, you guys are all drivers or something, and, like, thought it was jokes.
Speed humps, like premature ejaculation.
Oh my goodness.
Come on. It's not one of these. That's what I thought it meant.
Yes. We like finishing first.
Yeah.
Ah, right. Yeah, well, you're first in my heart, okay?
All right.
Yes.
All right. So, Humps, tell me about the early days out there in Barrie. Don't skip on the deets, okay? Just tell me everything.
Early days of the band?
Yes.
All right. Well, I think Glenn is the genesis of the band.
You instigated it all.
Well, Rob, I've known Rob for about, I don't know, 50 years or something.
Since the mid-'80s.
And we played in a couple of bands together. He was originally from Meaford. He had a band called Flexadrool. I played in that band for a summer so that we could play a show in Toronto. He then moved to Barrie. We got together later and we formed a band called Flockerson.
Okay.
That was about
1990? 91?
And we existed for about 8 years, I guess. We did a couple of 7-inch records, a 10-inch record, various compilation stuff. So we've always kind of worked together and written together and got along. So you were in a band called Generation Hext.
Yes.
From when?
2004 till we never actually officially ended it, but we sort of drove it into the ground a few years ago.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna ask you guys about side projects in a bit, but
Okay.
yeah, go on. Like early days,
That was a main project, I guess. Generation Hex.
Yeah, but early days of the Speed Humps.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Well, okay. Early days of the Speed Humps. I was in a band called the Groggies. That ended. I was getting restless, not playing, and I was hanging out with Rob one day, and he was like, if you want to start a band, I'd be glad to play guitar with you. I was like, okay, that sounds good. So a couple weeks later, we were like, I got some stuff. If you want to try something, do you know any drummers? And
I had just heard the Heavy Petter stuff and realized that I knew Corey as a guitar player, realized he was playing drums, and thought, let's see what happens.
That was
Throw it
like
out there.
2018, right? That's when you guys got together, or 2017?
Well, it was like
Late 2017?
So Casey and I moved to Barrie the end of the summer 2016, and then through the course of like going to local shows and getting into the music scene, I remember getting to know Glenn, and he came up to me one time at a show, and he's like, I'm going to start a band in January, and you're going to play drums. I'm like, but I don't play, but I'm not a drummer. He's like, yeah, you'll learn. And then it was like January 1. He texted me. He's like, so you want to jam? I'm like, holy shit, this is actually happening. All right, then.
That's amazing.
and also our thought was, well, if he's a really shitty drummer, we know he can play guitar, and we can find a drummer. Or we can recruit him as a second guitar player.
So it was the three of them for a few months, and then they played a show, their first show, in I think March of 2018. And then Glenn's like, we need a second guitar player. And well, Corey and I live together. He's like, Casey's always around. Do you think she'd want to play?
Without discussing it with Rob.
Oh yeah. I was like, hell yeah, I want to fucking play with you guys. So I learned all their. I think you guys had 7 songs at the time, so I learned them all in a week. Showed up for practice, started plugging in, and Rob's like, well, I'm like, are you plugging in here? And he's like, well, yeah, what are you doing? And I'm like, didn't you hear? I'm jamming with you. He's like, nope.
So
And then I threw a fit, and I left, and
You
I
almost
said,
lost Rob, yeah.
No, that's a lie.
yeah, that is a lie.
Oh, okay.
Well, that's really.
Let's move over a bit.
It's been absolutely perfect. Yeah.
So,
It's been pretty organic, it seems. I mean, you guys were great as a 3-piece, but,
Greater with more.
it just with a 4-piece. We recorded a demo with Cor here, just as a 3-piece, and Rob did like second tracks, like solos and stuff like that on top of rhythm tracks. I'm like, wow, we sound pretty good with 2 guitar players.
yeah, the lead guitar.
We should get a second guitar player. So that's how we started discussing with Casey.
Okay, yeah, that's really like good to hear. I have a better idea now of how the sort of flow is between you guys and stuff. Like, it seems like Glenn is a bit of like the founder sort of, and then like you got the rest of you guys fell into line pretty quickly around him, which is cool. Yeah, like it seems like solid start there, and yeah, like
Told us, really.
Well, I had some songs. I showed them to Rob, and Rob did his thing, and then probably after about the 3rd practice, Rob's like, I have a song that we can use. The other band didn't want to use it, so that was Love No One. We're like, oh, that's a really good song. Let's do it.
yeah, I love that song.
And then a couple weeks later, he comes in. I wrote a song on the weekend, and that was Drink for Days, and That was after a long weekend.
Yeah, you guys cranked it down pretty quickly.
And so we did that, and so it's just been like kind of Rob and myself just writing stuff. He's kind of pushing me to write more, and I'm pushing him to write more. So it just worked out, I guess.
It's always something new at practice.
Yep.
Right on, right on. And so, like, just a real quick question here, like, and so everybody gets the gist in case they're confused. Okay, so we got Rob on 6th string and doing vocals. We got Casey on 6th string, does vocals too a little bit. I guess you guys, Glenn does vocals too, even in some songs, I guess. And then and Glenn's on bass, and we got Corey on drums. And so, like, are you guys all like multi-instrumentalists, like you know, or is Corey the only one that sort of broke that threshold there?
Well, Rob played bass in a band for a long time.
Yeah. I played bass as well.
He played bass in Generation Hexed.
Okay, cool.
I play a little mandolin too.
Yes.
It's about that big.
Oh, funny.
And Corey plays bass and guitar. So he was in a band called Gina's Dead, where he played guitar and sang. Like he was the lead singer. So.
Oh yeah, that's a good segue to like the next question. Actually, is like, you know,
He just said, "I just want to sit back and do the drums and nothing else." So.
But then you and Casey sort of just guitar players sort of thing, or like do you play a little bit of drums here or there, or like, you know?
I cannot play drums. I wouldn't call myself a bass player. I could play a bass. I played in a couple sets, but I am mainly guitar.
Yeah, I just thought maybe one of you guys was like a trombone player in a ska band or something neat like that. So I figured.
Jesus Christ, no.
Never.
Wow.
I can barely play bass, so I just stick to that. I don't even attempt the guitar. 4 strings is enough.
All right. So
Yeah. Well, no, in this band I use 3.
All right.
I use 3 strings also.
Okay, yeah. So then, I guess now is the time. Like, let's go through all the side projects here if we can, or as many as we can sort of drum up here. Like, you Rob and Corey were both in other bands, I guess, and so were you, Glenn, before this. So yeah, like just throw out the names again one more time, just so that, you know, if anybody's got their notebook out or something.
Well, for me, they're not really side projects; they're old bands.
So this is like your main thing then.
This is it for myself, yeah.
And me.
Casey and Corey are in 4,000 bands.
I'm in 2, so I'm not like Speed Humps is not a side project. Heavy Petter is my other band. Like, they're both active bands that we practice regularly, we gig regularly, we record regularly. So they're both our primary projects, right? We're equally active in both of the bands.
Okay. Yeah, sorry, I didn't mean to make it seem like one band was more important than the other. I was.
Yeah, but I do like solo acoustic stuff. I guess that's more on the side because it's more of I'd say it's acoustic. I use an acoustic guitar, but I still have like drums and bass and a bunch of other instruments record. But that's more of a studio project. Like I don't like playing live acoustic. It's kind of boring unless I had a real band, like a full band with me. So it's more a studio project. So I guess that would kind of qualify as a side project.
Yeah, and so I'm in Heavy Petter with Corey, and obviously Speed Humps with these guys. And then I'm also in Angry Spells, which is also active right now. Yeah, I have no side projects like solo stuff or anything.
Okay, yeah. So, yeah, good to hear about all the active bands and the in Corey's case the side project there. Like, I'd love to hear some acoustic guitar. I bet you're good at a campfire there, Corey. Yeah.
Not gonna do it.
Okay.
Yes, he is.
Get me drunk enough and I'll try to play, but then I can't play guitar when I'm drunk. So it's just gonna be like, I'll get through like half a verse and be like, I forget the lyrics.
I know what it is, man. I know what it is. Like, yeah, it's so hard being a campfire guitarist. You have to have all your songs in your repertoire and just like, it's a whole thing. But either way, congrats on pushing through 3 years of steady production, self-titled, Broken Dreams, and Consumption. such a tough time it was too. Like the last 3, you guys didn't pick an easy like stretch. You know what I'm saying? To like to get this project going, but you stuck it through. You know, what was the hardest release of the 3 to pull off? Was it the obvious, you know, like the ones during COVID and stuff like that, or was it like your early work, like?
Probably consumption, right? Because we were intended on releasing that in April of 2020. Obviously, we did it. Well, we released it digitally only. We were going to do cassette tapes, and then we just kind of like, well, there's no shows, so why bother making all this stuff? And we just kind of sat
Plus,
on
a lot
it.
of things were closed, and we weren't going to do it ourselves. We were going to, like, we needed to order things, and a lot of places were shut down. So, you know, it just got a little demotivating. But
I'd say that's probably
So we kind of sat on it for a bit.
I mean, it was available digitally only in April as intended, just not physically because we weren't out playing shows and we didn't bother doing online immediately, you know, because we had no idea how long it was going to last for, right?
We're lucky in that we record here in their basement, which is our practice space, our recording studio. Corey records us. So there's no real, we're very lucky that way in that we have the space to be able to do it. So there's no real hardships that way. In fact, it usually ends up being more of a party when we record.
Once the difficult parts are done, then it's like,
There's usually lots of people hanging around too.
When we did
friends.
our Broken Dreams, when we recorded that, I just remember the basement was pretty much full of people, and it really did turn it like when I think we did
a lot of backup.
we did the vocals, and it
it
turned into just a bit of a party actually. So there was no hardships with that at all.
yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, like that's. I just figured. I wanted to ask that question because I was like, maybe it was the COVID ones were easy. The consumption like was like, you know, simple, like because you have all that time, right? You know.
That was recorded before.
We were
We were just
COVID
waiting
hit.
to like release it and
I
kind
think-
of tour it, but
Oh, okay, yeah.
Maybe in
the fall of 2019. And then
Yeah.
COVID happened spring 2020, and that's when
Yeah.
we released it digitally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
April, whatever. Yeah. So like, it's always easy for us to record. Like Rob lives in the neighborhood, and generally when we record, he'll just come over. We'll put headphones on, and we'll track drums. So he'll play his guitar.
So we can do it
We'll listen to it in our
pieces.
headphones, and we'll track all the drums.
oh, sick.
And then we'll start building the guitar around that, and Glenn will come over and do the bass and stuff. So it's kind of convenient that, you know, we have the setup down here, and Rob lives, you know, literally stumbling distance from here, and
Walking distance on the way, stumbling on the way.
so we could basically just set everything up and just, you know, work night after night after night and just get all the drum tracks done, and then build everything around that.
And it's pretty, it's been pretty smooth because I'm going to say, Glenn, because you seem to have the vision for most of the recordings. You're like, I want this to happen. I need this instrument. I want this person here and that
I
person
have
there.
some
And this
ideas.
gets the person. Yeah. So like, you were pretty good with the direction. So it wasn't like, well, what do we do now? And like, you know.
Well, also working with Rob helps that too, because he kind of knows what I'm like.
Yeah,
I
you
know
work well
what he's
together.
like.
Yeah.
We've known each other for so long, and we played in so many bands together. It's just like he'll come in with a song, show me, and I go, okay, yeah. And he already knows what I'm going to do, where I'm going to put feedback, where I'm going to make a big pile of noise or
Everywhere.
Yeah.
And you know, I'll show him one of my songs, and I already know he's already thinking of like lead bits he can do.
Wow, this is like, thank you so much for answering that question the way you guys did, because like and sorry you guys, you all, but yeah, it was really great to like get some insight, because that's part of why I do this too, is like to give people like a little bit of like, you know, an understanding of kind of how it works with like being in a band, or like, you know what I'm saying, like playing live shows or like recording, and you that gave some real good insight there about just like, yeah, the inner mechanisms of like a 4-piece, and like, you know, when recording and stuff like that. That's really cool. Most bands, like you guys are real comfortable Like most people, rather, this is my second full band interview, but most people are usually pretty shy and are just like, you know, they kind of want to answer the way you guys are answering, but like they sort of like, you know, and I'm not dropping any names, but like this is a good interview so far. I like this.
I do wish people would open up a bit more too, because I think it's really interesting to hear what everyone's writing process is like, recording process, how people work together, and just because sometimes you only know what you know, right? But then when you hear what other people are doing, you either get inspired or you learn something, or like, I don't know, it's a talking point next time you see them or something.
Well, I like it too. Like, if I'm going to watch an interview, I don't want to hear just like the basic, cookie cutter answers. Like, let's go deep. Let's learn about this band. And like Casey and I run a label, and we'll often do interviews with the different bands that we're releasing. And we always get Glenn. We always get Glenn to do the interviews, because Glenn's like a super music nerd, so he'll like research the bands and dig deep. And
as you are too, you got great questions.
And it's that style of interview is what I like. So it's like, well, if I'm being interviewed, I better deliver what I would expect, because like, I want to make it interesting and learn something about this band, and not just like some like, I'm too busy to talk to this person. Like, is this almost?
Well, it's mostly nervousness. I'm telling you. Like, a lot of people just don't know what to do when the red light's on, and it's like it's go time, right? But like, thank you everybody who did interviews. By the way, you're all wonderful people. I know you are watching right now. You know what I'm saying? But it's okay. Like,
this is live.
Oh yeah, this is live. Don't worry. I have no.
Okay, just stay seated, Glenn.
Okay.
So, any of you sports fans? Like, is that a thing? Any of you?
What is it?
Any of you into sports?
I am a hapless Toronto Maple Leafs fan.
No.
Yes. Me too.
I watch hockey on Saturday nights for about the first period and a half. After that, I'm usually asleep.
When I was younger, I used to follow hockey, but I just don't care anymore.
Didn't you say you like women's curling?
No, but I do.
No,
I do
like something about women's boxing, I think.
I will say though, when the Winter Olympics are going on,
that's always fun.
I like watching the speed skating. I don't know, there's something about it that's just like, holy shit, man! Like, they're going so fast, and they make it look so easy. Yeah. It's kind of cool. I don't know, something about it.
Go Leafs, crazy.
But that's like
especially the short.
Go Leafs, go!
Brutal.
That's it. Though. I don't really care about sports anymore.
Yeah.
But if you like sports, that's cool.
I hate sports.
Sorta.
Yeah, I got.
I can say that.
Look, I got Nazem Kadri right here, my fellow brown boy. I don't know if you guys can see that. Yeah, there he is. Look at that. Yeah.
Go Avs.
Yeah. So yeah, like Habs they did good last year too. Like, oh my god.
I said Av. Not never ever the Habs.
Was that the Avalanche?
Yeah. Never Montreal. Forever.
Well.
Oh my god.
Yeah, we don't. We enjoy Montreal, the city.
Oh, the city is fantastic.
We don't like the hockey team. We don't talk about that.
We don't talk about. Okay, great. Moving right along. We got now is like, if you guys have any influences, any bands near and dear to your heart, you know what I'm saying, local, otherwise, that you want to shout out, and now's the time. Like, go for it.
There are many local bands. I mean, these guys' bands are fantastic.
A little biased.
Yeah, like, I'm saying, any influences or any, like, sort of comrades in arms, you know what I'm saying?
I'll go first. My main influence, I'm an 80s hardcore kid, so mainly 80s American hardcore from the first half of the 80s is always near and dear to my heart. I don't really stray too far from that. I always hear new bands and stuff that I enjoy. We were very lucky here in Barrie to have a venue for a long time, the Fox Lounge, and many, many, many bands came through, and a lot of terrific local and semi-local that were great. But
a lot of bands came out of Just having
but
a regular venue and bands
It was
would
a
just
hub.
form because people were hanging out together.
Oh yeah,
But yeah.
that's cool.
80s hardcore and the Grateful Dead are my
Ah!
main musical influences.
Deadhead over here.
Yeah. Well, all right. Yeah, that's good. That's good. Like, I like to hear that. I like the all poster in the background. That's fucking classy. That all poster right there.
Yeah, that's me. I'm a huge Descendants / all nerd. All things Bill Stevenson I'm into.
Right on. And so, like, is Glenn's beard like a COVID thing, or has that always been? Is that like an institution? Your beard?
Fun fact, Glenn was born with a beard.
And it was great. Weird.
I'll
No, the beard is.
I'll take that.
The last time I shaved clean, I was trying to figure it out, was I think my daughter was 8. So that was probably about 15 years ago that it was right down to the skin. And I made her cry. So I didn't do that again. I didn't like what was so I just grew it out. It covers up the triple chin. So it's convenient that way. And yeah. I don't know.
Something to do with his hands.
Yeah, like I don't know. I dig that. Like that gives the whole band character. I think you know what I'm saying.
I know. Speed Humps without the beard.
Yeah, like I don't know. That's what you guys. You all struck me as like like you have that character. You know what I'm saying? Like each one of you is sort of like except for Corey, he kind of sits on the drum seat and. He's a drummer, so you can barely see him half the time. I'm kidding. I'm just saying, Corey, you're the drummer. I mean, Rob has like his nerdy glasses thing going. You know what I'm saying? Like,
what? Playing drums is really the best.
Hey, I have glasses too.
But playing drums is the best instrument for an introvert. I don't have to talk to anybody between songs. I don't have to address the crowd. I don't have to do any. I literally just
look at asses the whole time. I don't know.
Drummers are always very surly.
Yeah, I'm sorry to pick on you, Corey. I was just like all of you are wonderful. Like and like, do you have any plans for the future or anything like that? Like as far as musically.
Oh.
We'll be recording again. We've already got some new songs that'll be thrown in the next few sets we play live, and we're always like these two are always writing, so there's always something new, like we said. So I'm sure we'll be recording over the winter or the spring. Every year as a band, we've recorded something, an EP or an album. So
write, record, play shows. Write, record, play shows. Write, record, play shows.
So there'll be new
just
material
forever.
And hopefully, like.
Yeah, hopefully. We haven't been able to play shows for a little while. The first show we played was
Sneaky Dees show. Yeah.
Sneaky Dees show.
I'm going to ask you about that, but I have a little tidbit of trivia here. Did you guys know that if you go to a Google Home device, like one of those speakers that Google has, the like creepy Android that talks to you, if you go to one of those things and you're like, play the punk rock band, the Speed Humps, they start playing a song by you guys, which is all about legal marijuana or something.
Wow. Yeah.
Government weed.
Yeah.
That's
Rob
awesome.
wrote that. I think
Google knows
I think it's written with a lot of sarcasm.
You have to ask the punk band Speed Humps, though. It has to be play the punk band Speed Humps, and all of a sudden all you hear is legally. I'm like, oh, fuck.
Give me government weed.
Yeah, government weed. That was it. Oh, man. That's
in like every home in North America.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
It's all about the kids, really.
Yeah.
Look at it.
Yeah. And so, Rob, are you secretly related to Milo from the Descendants? Is that like a family member, distant cousin, or something like that?
No, but I do like the Descendants. I lost track of their albums after the All album, but I did just watch the first half of the Filmage documentary again.
So good.
Awesome.
So no, but I could listen to Milo Goes to College anytime, any day on repeat. Yeah,
I was hoping we would have a secret confession.
Probably seen it to you, actually.
An interesting thing about that filmage, though, the guys who did that have a documentary coming out with Blasting Room.
Yes,
right
I
now,
just
any
saw
minute.
that.
That's gonna be sick. I can't wait to see that.
All right.
Yeah,
Very
we're
good.
all Descendants fans here. That's not a secret.
Same. Yeah, I'm happy that's the case because like they're so influential and
Yeah.
like that I guess Tarantula tapes. I hear that Casey, you are the driving force there. Can you tell me a bit about that camp and how that goes?
That actually has a very interesting Speed Humps tie-in.
Yeah. So when Speed Humps couldn't release Consumption physically in April of last year, that was kind of the catalyst for forming Tarantula tapes because we were like, well, we bought all these cassettes in April, and this was now August, September. We're like, we got to get this out. And then Corey's like, we should just like have a label. I'm like, we're just gonna start a cassette label. That's it.
Why
Okay.
not?
And so that's how we put out Speed Humps as like a self-release, but under the label. And then it just kind of grew organically because we were like, well, there's other bands we love that we know that we just want to see their music and on a physical media. So, and then obviously we had our other projects, and then I don't know who said that I was the driving force. I do all the social media, maybe because I'm the millennial of the group. I don't know.
Oh, I just saw an interview and it was like a picture of you and like some other dude, and I was like, okay.
Well, it's Corey and I, yes, but Corey.
Yeah, Corey, you look way different. You look way different now. Okay.
You know,
Because he had a Glenn beard at the beginning of Tarantula.
it's true. I do. I did grow my beard longer,
Oh, he wishes.
but I also intentionally try to stay out of the spotlight because I don't like. I'm not a.
He hates to be the face of it all. So
I'd rather let her do all that stuff.
I'm forced to do the interviews and whatever
I'll,
the media.
I'll do all the
stuff.
technical stuff. I'll do the accounting, like anything behind the scenes. Let me take care of all that shit.
So usually I'm the one, on
But
the
it was-
internet or networking or having to be the face.
But it was Speed Humps
Casey's
that
really
we started on that.
enthusiastic. Casey's
Yeah.
really enthusiastic.
I get excited about
That's why
things.
we like having her in the band. She's like,
Yeah.
she's,
And
Yeah.
just to plug it to throw the topic, on Sunday at the Queens in Barrie, starting at 1 p.m., we're doing our 1-year anniversary show. We got 9 bands playing.
9 bands from our label.
There are tickets still available. You're welcome to come.
Yeah,
And,
tickets are available at the door.
It's an all-day thing with Speed Humps closing the night out.
What day
because we
is
were the
that?
first release.
Like, what day of the week is that?
Halloween.
Halloween.
Oh,
Costume.
I have plans. Oh, that would have been so good.
Oh.
I would have made
How
the trip.
But anyone else out in the Twitch universe,
Yeah.
and streamers.
Well, yeah, like
Only plug. There you go. But
And we have a second pressing of Consumption available as well.
there
So
we go.
everybody should have it.
Second plug.
It's on these cool ass sparkly tapes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Glenn
yeah.
wanted the sparkly tape, so whatever Glenn wants.
It's like
Glenn
red
gets.
glitter plastic.
oh, cool. Oh yeah. That's
And yeah, it's on like these glitter tapes.
that's so sick. That's
pretty
sexy.
cool.
That's fun.
It is sexy. I like it.
So Corey, this one's for you because I've been picking on you all day. Now I'm gonna give you some spotlight, okay? You know what I'm saying? Are drumsticks on bongos a faux pas? Is that a bad thing?
I have no idea. I've only ever tried a bongo a couple times in my life. A friend of mine had one like 20 years ago. I played it with my hands. I don't know. I've never seen one since.
I was just asking for a friend. The main
I mean,
thing.
what? I would say that, like, why not?
No, that actually reminds me of a question that I was gonna ask about Tarantula tapes, but I'm actually in a band that turned into a project. It was a 2-piece, and now I'm just fiddling around and recording all of the songs that we never fully recorded. But one of our first recordings was like in at Sherbourne and Queen, in the dirtiest, fucking grimiest building in Toronto, the one attached to the dollar store, and we were playing there, and we called it the Animal Cave because my drummer is Animal. I'm Peanut Butter, your host. But you know what I'm saying? Like I would read poetry as an intro to the song, and he would play drums with like bongos with drumsticks. You know, so like we have a pretty cool recording of that, but like I was wondering, yeah, if I shamelessly plugged my musical passion project, the Pet Shop Rascals, here, would that ruin my chances of getting tapes done? That was the question.
Oh no.
Well, the standard answer is I gotta hear it first.
Well, I will.
Plugging it does not ruin the chances. No. Plug away.
All right.
When I lived in Toronto, my old jam space was just down the street. I was at Front and Sherbourne at the rehearsal factory down there.
Yep. Played there for sure. But yeah, like I'll definitely send you guys some tracks or something on the Tarantula tapes socials and shit. And I'll get at you because
drumsticks work really well on bass too.
Yeah, she did that last week. Right? She did it last week when I broke the stick.
I use them. Yeah.
Learn something new every day. All right. So just a couple more questions here. So now, this one is for the 20 scene tube, okay? So get as in-depth as you want, but this one is going to end up on the web series, 20 scene tube, where I throw out some variety video clips and random stuff and have a sit down and sort of talk about shows. And I want to talk about October 10th, 2021 at Sneaky Dees. I really enjoyed that show. It was the first time I saw you guys, and I was surprised by how good you were. Not that I thought you were going to be bad or something like that, but like I was so rushed to go to the show that like I didn't. I listened to every other band but you guys, and then I showed up and I was like, oh fuck, I wish I listened to this band before because they're fucking good. And like I'm being completely honest. Like you guys are fucking awesome, and you all. Yeah. But what put you all onto the show? Like, tell me how it went. Is there anything that you liked? Did you try the Sneaky Dees nachos? They're very fucking good.
When I used to live in Toronto, I lived at Sneaky Dees, so I've had many nachos and late nights and early morning snacks there. But I think it was Armed and Hammered that got in touch with you on for the show.
Yeah, Mike from Armed and Hammered. He contacted me because we played a show with Armed and Hammered and Random Killing
when they were on tour
at the Fox a couple of years ago, and we got to open that show.
And luckily he liked this too.
Armed and Hammered, I guess Mopa came up and said they really liked us, and we got some really good feedback from them. And I guess they remembered us, and when they were going to put on the show, they thought, hey, I'll ask them.
Yeah.
So it was...
and we're pretty similar in genre. They're awesome. Vulgar Deli, too, was really cool. I had never seen them before. They were awesome. And then our buds in AD got added on. So that was pretty fun. They're also on Tarantula tape, so it was fun to connect with them.
Yeah. Artificial Dissemination, so good. Yeah, I can't. I'm hoping to interview them soon as well.
Nice.
Cool. I think that was our first show back and Artificial Dissemination's first show back in like 18 months or something.
Yeah, for all of COVID.
So it was really great, and just the fact that we were playing Toronto, that was our first ever Toronto show for this band.
Oh, wow! I'm glad I was there.
Yeah,
it was a really fun
the Speed
night.
Humps have not played in Toronto before. That was our first show.
A lot of other small towns. Yeah, never Toronto.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, I hear that they're gonna get the table situation off the fucking dance floor soon. I hear that's happening. We might have to wear masks or something. I don't know, but I think that's gonna get lifted soon. Which would I would.
One step at a time.
I would
That's
have loved to mosh out to you guys. Like I'm the like mosh pit fucking master here. Like I sit around and just what is it when somebody like fucking pesters people in the mosh pit? I'm like that. I'm terrible. I'm like
Lots of time. There'll be lots of shows.
I assure you that is not the last time we will play a show.
We'll make sure for you again.
I will. If you don't play in Toronto again, I will come find you and watch you play somewhere else. Okay, I promise.
We definitely go out of our way to make people aware of where we're playing.
Yeah. We'll make sure there's a spot for you.
Nice. Okay, so like, have any of you had a chance to surf the content? Any of your favorite works, like from 20scene.com, or like anything that sort of struck your attention?
Yeah, I perused the site a bit last week. A couple weeks ago, I guess, like right after the Sneaky Dees show. Yeah, it looks like you have a ton of different kind of like the videos, the online zines and stuff. And then the most recent one, you had I'm pretty sure it was you that interviewed Evan from Scullions, and we're friends with him, so that was kind of cool to see that.
Oh, sick! Yo, I'm gonna tell him I did this interview now. Oh, he's gonna be so happy.
We've known Evan for like 10 years or more.
Yeah. Yeah, we've known him for a while from when we lived in Toronto too. So that was cool to see.
Yeah.
And
we were actually supposed to fun fact, our other band, Heavy Petter, we were supposed to have played at the Bovine
for their 15th
for
anniversary.
15th anniversary, and it was the weekend that everything shut down for COVID.
Yeah.
And, 2 days before the show, people started bailing. They're like, I kind of feel like the right thing to do is postpone.
Yeah, so that was the first show.
So that was our first
there.
COVID casualty was Scullions, Heavy Petter, and I forget who else is going to play. But Evan and I, we've known each other for a long time. Great guy, good tattoo artist.
Yeah, oh yeah, and I was.
My tattoos, actually.
Oh, sick.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, like I was gonna go to that show actually, so I
It's still gonna happen. We're still planning for it.
Yeah.
It'll probably be
I think
the 17th anniversary.
I think we're talking now. March is when we're planning on doing this show.
No promises, but we're still talking about playing together, so it'll happen.
Yeah.
And I read a review of a show that Glenn and I went to. It was TV Freaks and Career Suicide at Smiling Buddha. Yeah.
Oh, nice. TV Freaks are I know the drummer from that band, friggin' Burger there. He's a fucking ace of a guy, man. Shout out to Burger.
Fantastic band.
Both great bands.
Yeah, I love TV Freaks. I covered them in 20 Scene, but yeah, we have lots of content there. Go check it out. Like the Kareem Abdul-Jabbar show. That's my favorite personally. I love Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. He's a basketball loving cousin of Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, except he's Canadian and yeah. He has a friend named Daryl Strawberry, who has a strawberry for a head, and all this other shit is from another dimension. Yeah, no, I don't know. I wanted to see if any of you had surfed the site because I really respect you all as artists, and
for sure.
It's nice to hear that. Yeah, you guys checked it out a little bit, and yeah.
Well, I'm glad you had some footage and some content from the show too, and that's how we discovered you. And that's cool because you do have a lot of content from other like local bands and.
Yeah, if you want to see the Speed Humps footage, I did post that up like last night, I think, or like the night before, and so it's up there with Vulgar Deli and Artificial Dissemination and Armed and Hammered. So that footage is up. And yeah, so is this interview. This is the end, my only friend, the end. You know what I'm saying? We made it, okay? But like, thank you so much. All right, you Speed Humps. Everybody, go listen to them. They have their music on YouTube, so it's like easy accessible to listen to. Bandcamp, all that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm gonna post.
Our first band interview, I believe, if I'm not mistaken.
You're our first interviewer.
Woo! Yeah! Look at it, making waves.
Oh my
God! All right, that's it, everybody. Earthquake's over. Thank you all for showing up. I'm gonna sign out now. Peanut butter out, folks. Peace.